Now we're going to add a simple drum track to this arrangement. You can see that in my one I used a drum loop to help keep in time, so that's doing quite a good job, but we want to actually be able to record our own drum parts, so I'm going to delete that now. If I first delete the region, and then I'm going to actually delete that track as well, just so that it's back to the same situation that it would be if you hadn't used the drums at all. You might have been using the metronome to stand time. So now we're going to add a new track. Again, we're going for a software instrument, and this time when it comes up, I'm going to go into shared GarageBand settings because there's actually a lot of good sounds in there. This varies from computer to computer, and I'm going to drum kits, and it was a studio brush kit. That was a sound I had with the loop, and I quite like the sound of that for what I'm going to do here. So I can put that away now. So if we're going to record a simple drum part, if you play around with the keys at the bottom octave of your keyboard, you'll find the different sounds. The kick is on the C, the snare is on the D, and then if you go to the three black notes that are together, the F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp, those are the three hi-hat options. And then you keep going up black notes, you've got some different cymbals, and if you find the D sharp, the second D sharp, that's quite a good ride cymbal. So that's all we're going to put in, just a simple pattern which is basically going crotchet, quaver, quaver, crotchet, quaver, quaver. Now you can add a lot more after that, and I'm going to do a separate little bit to show that, but this is all we require for this part. So I'm all set, ready to go. That's the track it's going to record onto. So I'm going to hit record, and here we go. And I'm going to stop there because actually it's a simple pattern it's repeating. I don't need to do it over and over and over again. So the first thing we'll need to do is go down into here, and we're going to quantize it. So I'm going to go Command A to select all of those notes, and I'm going for an 8th note swing feel. And there we go, they've lined up, but they're going to have a good swing feel. Let's listen to that. Okay, then all I need to do is to actually loop that out. In fact, I'm going to move it over because I think it would be nice for the drums to start at the same point as the double bass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop that for the length that I need. So if you use the top half of that right side, you get looped. The bottom half actually changes the length. So if you found you actually had a 4-bar pattern that you wanted to repeat, you could go like that, and then move up to the top right corner, and that will loop in that way. So we're going to finish it there probably just before the last bass note. Okay, so when we look at that in the score though, I'll open a score window to show you. How about down here? The problem is it only notates what has actually been played properly. So what we need to do is to convert those loops into real copies. This is usually something you do at the end of your composition once you've got everything sorted and you know exactly how long you want the loops. But what I do is I select the loop, I go to region because that's what that is, it's called a region, and I say loops, convert to real copies. And there we go, we've now got 4 matching copies of what we just did. We also need to join them together, so I'm going to hit escape, bring up the glue tool, and I'm going to select all of those. 2 ways I could do that. I could just go like this over all of them, or if I click on that track, it will select them all, and now when I click them, it's joined them all up into one big long loop, and that's going to be important when we get to scoring the whole piece. Now if you wanted to add some more parts to your drum kit, I would suggest you select track, and then you add a duplicate track, new with duplicate setting, that's Command D. And you can now go through and you can play in kicks and snares and some drum, other fills and that sort of thing. Once that's done, you could actually join those two tracks together with the glue tool to end up with one drum kit.